Hello, let's continue the window operations. Sizing windows. Provide large enough windows to present all relevant and expected information for the task. Avoid hiding important information. Avoid crowding or visual confusion. Minimize the need for scrolling, but use less than full size of the entire screen. If a window is too large, determine is all the information needed, is all the information related. Otherwise, make the window as small as possible. Optimum window sizes can be for text about 12 lines, for alphanumeric information about 7 lines. Larger windows seem to have these advantages. They permit displaying of more information, they facilitate learning, data relationships and groupings are more obvious. Less window manipulation requirement exists. Breadth is preferred to depth based on many research. More efficient data validation and data correction can be performed. Disadvantages can be longer pointer movements are required, windows are more crowded, more visual scanning is required, other windows more easily obscure parts of the window. It's not as easy to hide inappropriate data. Always provide large enough windows to present all the relevant and expected information for the task. Never hide important or critical information and minimize need for scrolling. A study has found that very small windows requiring a significant amount of scrolling appear to increase decision making time. Scrolling is also a cumbersome operation. To avoid scrolling, consider using unfolding dialog boxes, cascading windows or a tab control. Avoid, however, making windows default size the full size of the display. Doing so leads to any underlying windows being completely hidden from the user's view. The option to maximize primary and secondary windows always exists. Now let's discuss window placement. Considerations. In placing a window on the display, consider the use of window, the overall display dimensions, the reason for the window's appearance. Now general discussion. Position the window so it is entirely visible. If the window is being restored, place the window where it last appeared. If the window is new and a location has not yet been established, place it at the top at the point of the viewer's attention, usually the location of the pointer or cursor, in a position convenient to navigate to, so that it is not obscuring important or related underlying window information. Window placement. General. Let's discuss in general. For multiple windows, give each additional window its own unique and discernible location. A cascading presentation is recommended. In a multiple monitor configuration, display the secondary window on the same monitor as its primary window. If none of the above location considerations apply, then horizontally center a secondary window within its primary windows just below the title bar, menu bar and any docked toolbar. If the user then moves the window, display it at this new location the next time the user opens the window. Adjust it as necessary to the current display configuration. Do not let the user move a window to a position where it cannot be easily repositioned. Dialog boxes. If the dialog box relates to the entire system, center it on the screen. Keep key information on the underlying screen visible. If one dialog box calls another, make the new one movable whenever possible. Considerations. In placing a window on the display, consider how the window is used in relation to other windows, the overall dimension of the display and the reason that window is being presented. General. First, locate the window so it is fully visible. If the window is being restored, locate it where it last appeared. If the window is new and the location has not yet been established, place it at the point of viewer's attention. This will usually be the location of the pointer or cursor. Also place the window in a position where it will be convenient to navigate to and where it will not obscure important underlying screen information. Preferred position are essentially below and right. The suggested order of placement is below, right, top, right, below, left, top left. In a multiple monitor configuration, display the secondary window on the same monitor its primary window. If none of these situations apply, horizontally center secondary window within the primary window, just below the title bar, menu bar and any docked toolbar. Give each additional window its own unique location. A cascading presentation from upper left to lower right is recommended. If the user then moves the window, display it at this new location the next time the user opens the window. adjusted as necessary for the current display configuration. Do not let the user move a window to a position where it cannot be easily repositioned. Dialog boxes. If a dialog box relates to the entire system, center it on display, keeping key information on an underlying window visible. If one dialog box calls another, make the new one movable whenever possible. Now let's discuss window separation. Crispy, clearly and pleasingly demarcate a window from the background of the screen on which it appears. Provide a surrounding solid line border for the window. Provide a window background that sets the window off well against the overall screen background. Consider incorporating drop shadow beneath the window. Component separation is especially critical in graphics environment because of the spatial layering that can occur. All windows must be clearly set off from the underlying screen or windows. The demarcation must be crisp and visually pleasing. A solid single line border is recommended for this purpose. Also provide a window background that sets the window off well against the overall screen background. If color is used, exercise the caution and choose compatible colors. Another alternative is to use for the window a lighter shade of the color used for the screen background. Changes in the density of shades are often more visually pleasing than different colors. To emphasize the three-dimensional aspects of graphic windows, incorporate a drop shadow beneath each window. Now let's discuss moving a window. Permit the user to change the position of all windows. Change the pointer shape to indicate that move selection is successful. Move the entire window as the pointer moves. If it is impossible to move the entire window, move the window outline while leaving the window displayed in its original position. Permit the moving of a window without its being active. An indication that the move operation has been successfully selected and that the move may begin should be indicated to the user by changing the pointer shape. This will provide feedback indicating that it is safe to begin the move operation and will avoid false starts. Ideally, the entire window should move along with the pointer. If the entire window cannot be moved, move the window outline while leaving the full window displayed on the screen. Displaying only the windows outlined during the move operation and not the window itself may make it harder for the user to decide when the window has been repositioned correctly. It may be necessary for a window to be moved without being active. This should be possible. The action of moving the window may implicitly activate it, however. Resizing window. Now let's discuss another window operation. Permit the user to change the size of primary windows unless the information displayed in the window is fixed or cannot be scaled to provide more information. Change the pointer shape to indicate that the resizing selection is successful. The simplest operation is to anchor the upper left corner and resize from the lower right corner. Also permit resizing from any point on the window. Show the changing window as the pointer moves. If it is impossible to show the entire window being resized, show the window's outline while leaving the window displayed in its original position. When the window size changes and content remains the same, change image size proportionally as window size changes. If resizing creates a window or remains too small for easy use, do one of the following. Clip, truncate information arranged in some logical structure or layout when minimum size is attained, or when no layout considerations exist, format, restructure information as size is reduced, or remove less useful information if it can be determined, or when minimum size is attained, replace information with a message that indicates the minimum size has been reached and that the window must be enlarged to continue working. Permit resizing a window without its being active. Other operations. Permit primary windows to be maximized, minimized and restored. Maximizing, let's discuss that. Maximizing a window increases the size of the window to its largest optimum size. The system default setting for the maximum size is as large as the display. This should be adjustable as necessary. Minimizing a window reduces it to its smallest size. Restoring returns a window to its previous size and position after the user has maximized or minimized it. Window shuffling must be easy to accomplish. Window shuffling should be easy to perform in as few steps as possible. One method is to permit the toggling of the two most recently displayed windows. Another is to permit rapid window shuffling and the swapping of the front window and the second or back window. Keyboard or control mouseless operations. Keyboard control or mouseless operation. Window action should be capable of being performed through the keyboard as well as with a mouse. Keyboard alternative should be designated through use of mnemonic codes as much as possible. Keyboard designation should be capable of being modified by the user. All window action should be capable of being performed using the keyboard as well as mouse. This will provide a more efficient alternative for applications that contain tasks that are primarily keyboard oriented, for users skilled in touch typing, and for any other situation in which frequent movement between keyboard and mouse may be required. The use of mnemonic codes to reflect window mouse actions will greatly aid user learning of the keyboard alternatives. To provide the user flexibility, all keyboard designations should be capable of being user modified. Closing a window. Close a window when the user requests that it to be closed. The user performs the actions required in the window. The window has no further relevance. If a primary window is closed, also close all of its secondary windows. When a window is closed, save its current state, including size and position, for use when the window is opened again. Close a window when the user requests it to be closed. When the action required in the window is performed, or when the window has no further relevance to the task being performed. If the closed window is a primary window, also close its associated secondary window. When a window is closed, it is important that its current state, including size, position, be saved for use when the window is again opened. Thank you for watching.